So this is the first video in a series of videos I'm going to create that's going to guide you through the creation process of making your very own HyperDoc. So when you get to the training page, you'll notice that the first thing you're going to do is determine your learning objective. And the next thing you do is select which template you want to use, and I have a link here to the Learning Cycle Templates folder. After that, you design your HyperDoc, and this is by far the most time-consuming part. So I'm going to model how to create content for each of the different sections in the learning cycle. And then the last thing you do is determine your workflow. So basically, how are students going to access your HyperDoc, and how are they going to turn them into you? So if we go back up to the top, I have a link to the elementary curriculum framework and the secondary curriculum framework. So just think about an upcoming unit of study. Doesn't have to be something that you're going to teach within the next couple of weeks. If you want to do something, for the end of the year, that's perfectly fine too. But when you determine your content teak, you want to include that text in your HyperDoc, because one of the main things that we do as content creators is we want to share what we create. So it's really important that the learning objectives are right smack at the top for everyone to know as soon as they open the HyperDoc. So I've already determined what my content teak is going to be, and that's 4th grade math 4.4C, and this one is represent the product of two-digit numbers using arrays, area models, or equations, including perfect squares through 15 by 15. So as I'm looking at this teak in detail, I noticed this section right here where they have to use a variety of methods to represent their understanding. So they're going to be using arrays, area models, which is the partial product method, and then writing the actual equation itself. So I have a couple of virtual manipulatives in mind that I think would go really good for an interactive HyperDoc. So that's why I chose this specific teak. Okay, so now I have my learning objective, and the next step is to decide which learning cycle template you want to use. So when you click on the link, it's going to open up to the shared Google Drive folder, and you have a folder of docs, drawings, sheets, sites, and slides. If you've never made a HyperDoc before, I suggest you just use the basic HyperDoc template, which is located in the docs folder, and it's number 2 right here. So I'm going to open it up, and by default it's view only for you guys. I own this document and I'm logged in as myself, which is why you don't see this big blue view only button located in the toolbar. So you won't be able to type or modify this until you make a copy of it and put it in your drive. So to do that, you simply go to File, Make a Copy, and I'm going to name it 4.4C multiplication, and I want to make sure that I save it in my drive. So I'm just going to click on it and backspace until I get to my drive and click on Select. Then I'm going to click on OK. Now it opens up in a new tab, and this is my copy. So now I can modify this and make it my own. So I'm going to go ahead and close the template that I had open, and I'm going to start by typing in the title right here. So again, I'm just going to name it 4.4C multiplication, and right here is where I usually copy and paste the content teak. So I'm going to go back to this document, my PDF, and I'm going to click and highlight this entire teak, and it's 4.4C. So I'm just going to hit Control Copy. I'm going to go back into my HyperDoc, and I'm going to click and do a Control V and paste. And actually, if I want to, I'm also going to include a link to this actual document by highlighting the URL and going back here, and I want to link it to this part. I want to link it to the first part of the teak. So I'm going to highlight go up to the hyperlink icon in my toolbar and then just paste it and click on apply. So now when teachers open this, they see the title, they see the TEK, and if they want more information about that TEK, they can click here and it's going to open up to the PDF that I got from the Elementary Curriculum Framework. So that's the first part of making your HyperDoc.